There's a C and a Z and a Y, and it's like Scrabble, triple word score. Tyberski.
He's a Unabomber.
Yes, he's a Unabomber. He's here in Korea. Watch out.
Thanks, Dom. That was awfully nice. Kind of like attending my own funeral. Except you're the one that's leaving. I was kind of surprised that Dawn asked me to tell comedy jokes, because as she mentioned, I'm not very adept at this. I've been on the mic less than 20 times, and in that way, my comedy life resembles my sex life. You could count the number of times that I've had sex on the arms of two very helpful octopi. Those same two octopi couldn't double and triple and quadruple themselves to count the number of partners Dawn has had sex with. I'm going to make all of my jokes dirty because the first times I saw Dawn on stage, and the second and third and fourth and fifth times, and every subsequent time has been filled with dirtiness, and I appreciate that about Dawn, both in and out of the bedroom. But like I said, I'm not very proficient at this. But I read an article in Women's Health that was written by a comedian, I-E-N-N-E. Oh, Dawn, did she go? Did she just leave and come back? Oh,
She blatantly
well, it's on video. It was written by a comedian, and she was telling people how to be funny. And the first thing she said was to laugh at all of your own jokes. And never laugh at anyone else's jokes. I'm taking that to heart. But the few times that Dawn and I have had sex, she's requested some very strange things. And when she said this one to me, I didn't understand what she meant. But she's like, "Would you eat me out while I'm doing a cartwheel?" And I was like, "Dawn, I like both of those things, but put them together, and it just makes for awkward times. Just because I like jumping jacks and blowjobs doesn't mean I want to do both at the same time." She understood, but it was messy. I also get strange subway requests on the subway. I just ruined those words. And I was on the subway. I'm not going to put Dawn in this joke because she wasn't there, and that would be a lie, and I'm not a liar. But I was there on the subway with several friends. There's 4 women and a black guy. Not bragging. But there's an old Korean man who was just like... And eventually, he got up the courage to stop dadding. And he's like, "Oh, yes, I want to. You like Korea?" Yeah, saying normal stuff, normal questions. And then he's like, "Oh, I want to drink with you." He's like, and we said, "No." And he's like, and then he says, and this is a truthful story. He goes, "Oh, and afterwards you have some kind of orgy." And I was like, I didn't know that was a stereotype that Koreans had about foreigners in Korea. Like, I don't go up to every van full of Mexicans in Eugene, Oregon and be like, "Hey, circle jerk. Circle jerk time." don't do that very much anymore. I hope Don doesn't want to tell this the when in Rome joke. Like, I've got some friends who are like, yeah, when I travel, it's not as much about traveling as having lots of sex with people in different places. And I'm like, ah, thanks, Brian. Why did you bring that up? I'm kind of like that, but it's like kind of different for me because when I go to different places and I don't, remember the octopus joke? The octopus, that was true. The octopus joke, the helpful octopi. So I don't have sex with foreign people or other humans. Mostly it's couch cushions and tube socks. So when I go to foreign countries, I like to masturbate in historic landmarks. You might not want to walk near that part of the Eiffel Tower anytime soon, Mom. And I actually talk about masturbation a lot more than this, and I had a friend one time who was like, Rudy, why do you talk about masturbation so much? He didn't talk like that. He was a guy who could, like, impregnate a woman just by going like that. He was one of those guys that, like, got a lot of sex, legitimately. And I was like, you talk about what you know. Some guys have stories about having sex with awesome, like, crazy people. And other people tell stories about jerking off on the roof. And I am other people. But I do really appreciate the 12 dozen hand jobs Don is trying to give me. I do. People say the hand job is a lost art. I disagree. I have been practicing that for years. More than a decade. I call it Dong Shui. I don't know what that means. But I appreciated it so much, and so you gotta return the favor if someone does that. So, like, she gave me all those hand jobs, and I returned the favor by giving her tennis elbow. But I know some guys are like, oh, I don't want to get a hand job from a girl. And I'm like, hey, why not? There's a girl in high school I knew, and she was like, giving a hand job is just like saying hello to a guy. And I was like, why don't more people say hello to me? But, it's like, let me put it this way. Wolfgang Puck doesn't ask his wife to make him breakfast. You know what I mean? Like, giving a guy a hand job is like making Betty Crocker a cake. It's, you appreciate they meant well, But after you have their cake, it's just like, oh, I could really use a good cake. And then you try to make a cake for yourself. But there's like old milk in the cupboards and like bad flour, and like you try the cake like, oh, she goes to the bathroom and you make a cake, and it's like, oh, this cake still wasn't good, but it was better than the last cake I had. Thanks, guys.